The episode starts off and a kid who lost her parents is crying, when a guy named Sho comforts her, but he is called because the zombies have attacked again. Sho apologizes to the kid as he has to go, but she is scared, thinking that he'll die, so he promises her that he will be back. Outside the building, people are fending off the zombies. The Sigma boys are rejecting the undead milkers, while Akira is having the time of his life. He is currently in Shinjuku, which is crawling with the undead, looking for a guy named Kencho.
A few hours earlier, Akira had grown the beard of a middle-aged man, which he obviously wasn't satisfied with, so he uses a marker to draw it, and you can see the results.
Wondering what to do next, his attention is grabbed by some messages, which meant that the internet was working again. After texting some of his friends, he waits for a reply, but gets nothing after hours of waiting.
Realizing that the reason why he was able to use internet was because only a few people were using it, he looks out his window in despair, regretting spending overtime hours in his company.
He scrolls down his contacts and comes across a guy named Kencho, who had advised him to quit his job in the past. When he calls him, we see a guy who is sweating like he's busting some ass, and a zombie girl moaning. He was in a building packed with zombies in bikinis and bunny costumes. Now that's immortal paradise. He drops on the floor after closing the door, and proceeds to drink a bottle of water, which was the only things he was ingesting for the last 3 days. Worst of all, he was forced to have BDSM with a fucking zombie. My man is tired and starving after a long session. Which is your cue to like the video and subscribe to the channel, so that you won't have to suffer the same fate. He is losing hope, but when he closes her eyes, he remembers Akira, laughing and shitting himself at the same time, so when he gets his senses back, he immediately calls him, and we are back at where we left off. After some talk, Akira asks him his location, which was Shinjuku. After asking him to text his address, Akira hangs off. Back in the present, we hear about the duo's past, and how he was Akira's closest friend, but he landed a big job when Akira was working his butt off. Worst of all, he bragged about his success and how he had a model girlfriend, when Akira was thinking about kicking the bucket.
After some bragging, Kencho advises Akira to quit his job, when he starts losing it, throwing every word that came to his mind, which upsets Kencho, and they haven't talked since then.
Meanwhile, Sho and his crew have been fucked by the zombies, and Sho is waiting for death to knock on his door, but the zombies stop and turn back when they hear a loud beeping sound. It even made the BDSM zombie scream, and all the zombies in the building leave, which was the doing of Akira. Seems like he isn't so stupid after all. When Kencho realizes that all the zombies are gone, he leaves the room and walks down the hallway, but gets scared when hears Akira behind his back. He takes off his glasses and cries, while apologizing to him about not listening to his advice. Kencho was about to say something important, but the zombies interrupt them. They come back because they heard Akira screaming. They end up at the roof after running away from the no-brainers. After blocking the door with some fans, Kencho realizes that it won't hold for long, so he asks Akira what to do. The only was left was them to jump to the next building, which Kencho thinks is impossible, but Akira leaps with all his might, and successful reaches the other end. However, Kencho has those Kinder Joy biscuits for balls, so he's too afraid to jump. Thinking that it's the end for him, he gives his last speech, about how he wasn't happy with his job and was actually bragging to feel less empty. All this time, he wanted to be someone who makes people laugh, like a comedian. After all the emotional talk, Kencho starts running and jumps, even stripping while he's at it.
Akira laughs at how small it is, but their moment is cut short because Kencho was about to fall off. When he does fall, Akira grabs his hand and pulls him up. Unfortunately, he lost his biscuit balls in that fall. Later that night, they are buck naked, drinking some beer while talking, when Kencho says that Akira was amazing, and he might even be the one to save the world from the zombie virus, which is totally never going to happen for sure.